Many people love Hanoi at daybreak or late at night. But there are also many other people who love Hanoi early in the morning. A Hanoi that has not waken up, but gradually bringing to the sounds of a new day. Hanoi early morning has all the spectrum of sounds, colors, and movements. It's a pure, peaceful beauty, unlike the other times of the day. Those too familiar with the bustle and hustle life, late in the day or night, should spend a few hours to observe the dawn in Hanoi. In today's program, we will join the journey to discover the beauty of Hanoi at dawn with 2 Australian tourists and a tour guide of HVG Travel.
Greetings from Shanghai, Vietnam on VTC10 Net Viet. Hanoi is well known as the famous destination for many international tourists as a city with a crowded population and chaotic atmosphere. So what about the atmosphere of Hanoi early in the morning? In today's program, we are going to tell you more about that. And the guest speakers in our program today are 2 tourists from Australia. So thank you, Rebecca and LB Johnston, for joining us. The first question we'd like to ask you is, what brought you to Vietnam this time?
This time we are traveling around the world, so we're working at the moment remotely for our jobs back in Australia, and we're spending a month in a different country around the world for a year. So we're in Vietnam at the moment at the end of our trip. So we've been staying in Ho Chi Minh City for a month, and we've just come to Hanoi for the weekend.
So what is your impression when you put the first step here in Hanoi?
Yeah, the city here is really, it's a lot colder. So to see everyone in warm clothes is good. And it feels a bit like a city back home called Melbourne, with a lot of the old buildings and the old areas, but still very different to home. So yeah, it's nice. It's a relaxing place, and it's been nice to visit Hanoi, yeah.
What about you? How do you feel when you get here?
It's not my first time that I've been to Hanoi. I came 2 years ago on a work trip with the school that I work for. We brought over a bunch of teenagers, and we stayed here for a week and then went to Cambodia after that. So this is the first time that I've been with my husband, and it's lots of fun. It's very different from the last trip that I did, because we mostly went to Ha Long Bay, so we've been able to see the city and it's been really pretty.
So what are the reasons you decided to choose the early walking tour around Hanoi? Why not the other tours during the daytime?
We chose the tour because we read the bio on the website and it sounded really interesting, and it sounded like we would see a side of Hanoi that we hadn't seen before. And yeah, it was very interesting. If we didn't do the tour, we wouldn't have seen a lot of things that we saw this morning, so lots of fun.
Yeah, well, I think just starting the morning early is good. It's very early, but very nice. And being able to see some of the city before we do some of the other tourist things has been really good. Being able to walk around when it's a lot quieter, being able to see the markets has been really nice. So I guess it was a great idea just to start the day knowing a bit about the city before we do everything else, yeah.
Among all time points of a day, maybe early morning in Hanoi is the most amazing time. Today, tour guide Kim Phượng and 2 Australian tourists decided to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning to begin the journey of experiencing this moment of Hanoi.
Điều đầu tiên mình giới thiệu cho khách của mình là 2 bạn đến từ nước Australia là chính là chợ hoa Quảng Bá. Bởi vì như bạn thấy là chợ hoa Quảng Bá nó nhộn nhịp nhất vào buổi sáng và nó là điểm rất là đẹp, và đó là điểm đầu tiên mình muốn tạo ấn tượng với khách nên mình giới thiệu khách đến đây đầu tiên.
Flower market is the trading place of many famous flower growing gardens such as Tây Tự, Mê Linh, and faraway places like Đà Lạt or even France or the Netherlands. Apart from flowers that have long been in the market, such as roses or heathbell, Quảng Bá flower market today have many more other type of flowers like the lilies, iris, or tulip. Buying flowers is a habit and a culture of Hanoian people. Because of that, coming to the flower market, Rebecca and L.B. Johnston also want to buy some type of flowers and bring back to the hotel.
Bao nhiêu tiền? Bao nhiêu tiền một bó à? Dạ, bao nhiêu tiền một bó hoa? Bao nhiêu tiền? Bao nhiêu tiền một bó hoa? Bao nhiêu tiền? 60.000 một bó. 60.000. So cheap. Yeah, it's so good. So cheap. Yeah.
As the sun starts to shine, the bicycle loaded with flowers are traveling on the road or alleys. The city will wake up in the eve of all the beauty of flowers.
Và sau khi cái điểm này thì mình sẽ đi ra cầu Long Biên, tìm hiểu một chút lịch sử của Việt Nam. Và sau đó nếu còn thời gian thì mình sẽ đưa khách đi tới chợ Long Biên nữa để hiểu thêm về hoa quả, chợ hoa quả của Việt Nam.
2 kilometers away from the Quảng Bá flower markets is Long Biên Bridge, an ideal destination for many travelers in their journey of discovering Hanoi at dawn.
Điểm đến tiếp theo của đoàn chính là cầu Long Biên. Và cầu Long Biên thì nó là cái cầu cũ nhất của Hà Nội và cũng ghi dấu nhiều lịch sử của Hà Nội. Và hai bạn này thì rất muốn tìm hiểu về lịch sử của Việt Nam, cho nên là mình đã dẫn hai bạn đó đến đây vào buổi sáng nay.
Originally built in the early 20th century, Long Biên Bridge became a symbol witnessing historical changes of the capital city of Hanoi. Being impressed by this historical evidence, Rebecca and L.B. Johnston could not help feeling overwhelmed. Far away is the side of the Red River at the foot of Long Biên Bridge. This season, in the early morning, tourists often see mist clouds flying close to the ground, turning it into a fairyland. From the Long Biên Bridge, one can also watch the sunrise above Trương Dương Bridge, the golden morning sun cover all around. Along the river banks is land for farming that looks like a green carpet. Hanoi early morning is almost different from what it looks like a few hours later. The streets, which are crowded and busy all day, also become more peaceful in the early morning. All those coming to Hanoi will have the same feeling that the city is really cramped, crowded and noisy. But maybe it is just right to describe Hanoi during the day. But if someone walking through streets of Hanoi in the early morning, they will surely change their opinion.
During the early walking tour around Hanoi, you have been visiting a number of destinations. So what do you like the most from the lifestyle here?
The thing that I liked the most was probably going to the vegetable and meat market that we went to. It was lots of fun. Saw lots of things that we wouldn't normally see, lots of different fruits and stuff that we don't have in Australia, and even the atmosphere is completely different to anything that we've ever seen before and not touristy. It's exactly what the locals would see.
We went to the Long Biên Bridge, and it was really awesome to see the oldest bridge in Hanoi and just walk along it, stand in the middle of it, which is a bit scary but was fun, and just to see everyone, the local farms from the bridge and the big the Red River. Got to see the Red River from the bridge as well, so it was really nice to walk along a really old bridge and see bunch of the city from the bridge. I really like that. You know, interesting to see some of the areas where you know, people don't have like big homes and lots of space. They're, you know, pretty compacted in, but it was awesome to see everyone at the markets, you know, making and selling all their stuff that they've grown, selling it to the locals, and yeah, it was really good to see what life is like for a bit of the Vietnamese people. Yeah.
It is chaotic out there in the fruit and the flower markets early in the morning in Hanoi. So what about the city center like the Hoàn Kiếm Lake? What do you feel when you come here early in the morning?
It's very, very peaceful around the lake. It's lovely. I like that everything is roped off, so there's no cars or motorbikes allowed here in the early morning, and you get to see people exercising and going about the start of their days. It's really nice.
I think one of the best things about the early morning is it's a lot easier to get around and walk around areas, not as much traffic. And I think the other thing as well is the markets, they close up by, I don't know, 8 or 9 o'clock. So seeing some of the stuff that we wouldn't have been able to see early in the morning was really good.
So if we compare the lifestyle early in Hanoi in the morning with that in your country, what can you say?
The lifestyle early in the morning, it's similar and different. So in our country, in the early mornings on a Saturday, we get up and we go to the vegetable market as well and get our vegetables for the week. And there are a lot of Vietnamese people that are the people that are selling the fruit and vegetables. So it's similar because of that, but it's very chaotic, which is very different from back home. So it's chaotic in a good way though. We have, in Brisbane, we have a place called South Bank, which is where where our lake is, and we have a man-made beach there, and there are a lot of people that do exercise in the morning, and a lot of cafes and people having coffee and breakfast and that sort of thing, but probably not this early. So probably around 8 o'clock is the time that people get up.
So what will you tell your friends about the early walking tour around Hanoi after this time coming here?
Yeah, definitely. Quite a memorable trip, lots of great photos, and our tour guide took lots of photos of us, which is great, and showed us around. It's been a really nice morning and really glad we did it, yeah.
Well, I took lots of photos on the tour, so I'm going to be sharing all of my photos and a little bit of video as well, and yeah, I'll probably be telling them to come to Hanoi and do this tour because they get to see outside of the city, and it's next to the city. There's plantations of bananas and fields with vegetables and stuff that you wouldn't normally think would be so close to the city. So yeah, definitely tell them to come and have a look and see the other side that isn't just the bars and the restaurants and that sort of thing, yeah.
So thank you, Rebecca and LB Johnston, for joining us, and hopefully you had your great time in Vietnam this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for this episode of Showing Vietnam today, and hopefully from this program you guys have more insights into the early lifestyle in Hanoi. And for comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at showingvietnam@netvietttv.net. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.